I want to appreciate media for coming in. For those of you who are doing uplinks, I want to firstly appreciate your listeners and your viewers online. I think the sun has a greater uplink, as well as our friends from FM 100. I just want to say thank you for coming on a late Sunday afternoon. I have with me our Minister for Administrative Services, Minister Masere, who is the number one Papua New Guinean having oversight on our national census. And of course, Minister for Public Service, Minister the Honorable Joe Sungi, who is the Minister in charge of our public service nationwide. And I have with me as our Chief Secretary. Three relevant gentlemen in the discourse of our census that is coming up. Tonight is a reference night for our census 2024. It is important that this press is held so that uplink and news could spread to every citizen tonight, far and wide, and every citizen to know. It is census that is starting 12 midnight tonight, but tonight will be a very important reference night, meaning as the officers come around asking you on census informations, they will page you down to the 16th of June 2024 as to where you were as a reference point for the series of questions to come forth from for the national census that is upcoming. I will, in a very short while, ask Minister Masere to take us through what is expected nationwide. But as a matter of national importance, I just thought myself introduce this occasion to our country. As you tune into our news this evening, as you tune into our radio broadcast that is relayed later tonight, and I want all our radio stations who are here to continue on the uplink. It's an important national night. You must be counted. We don't want to leave anyone behind. The national census is labeled, be counted, no one left behind. Be counted, no one left behind. Your country needs to know who you are. You must not be in what they label person non grata. You must not be a person not known in our country. It is your country. You need to be known. We intend to have only one database for our population. That is important for government to plan for your education, for your health, for your infrastructure, for your law and order, and for your economic well-being. The issues facing our country is not insurmountable. We can address those issues facing our country. But the key deficiency that we've carried with us for so many years is knowing who you are in our country. The last time we had a quality census, in my view, that reflects quality census was the 2000 census. The 2011 census was a half attempt by a government in transition. It was a year in which we were transiting from the Somalia government to the O'Neill government. And so the quality of that census is not something for me as your number one country planner right now could adequately put my hands on to plan for our country's well-being. In any case, since 2011, it has been now 13 years. At a growth of 3.5% a year in as far as our population growth is concerned, the number has compounded, or the aggregation of our population is such where the government needs to know who you are. And so I just want to appeal to all our citizens nationwide. Don't see this as a small-time event. This is a major national event. You need to be known wherever you are in our country. If you're in the islands, if you're in the atolls, if you're in our bigger islands, if you're in our provinces, if you're in Bougainville, our special region of Bougainville, or if you're in the lowlands, in the coastal areas or up in the highlands, doesn't matter where you are. Census starts tonight as a reference night, and as of midnight tonight, our census program will roll throughout the length and breadth of our country. There will be some logistics hurdles. There will be some settling in phase period in as far as our pool of volunteers and our public service who are mobilized nationwide to get engaged in our census that is running from the 17th to the 30th of this month as our dates for data collations. I just want to appeal to all our citizens, assist your census officials nationwide, in your locality, in your district, in your province, so that you are counted and not left behind. In whatever else we say today, my key message for us, our citizens tonight, is that please be counted. We need you to be known by your government so that we can plan for you. And with this regard, I want to invite our Minister responsible for Census, Minister Masere, to come and speak again to the country. And we will be speaking to the country every night from now on until we come up to the conclusion of this phase. This will not be the end of census only. Continued data verification will run its course until we reach a final figure, including those who reside in our country around this time next year, if not just under the shade of our 50th anniversary next year. We want to know fully every human being in Papua New Guinea, citizen and resident, including those who come in for visitations, regular visitations, and those who have an address in Papua New Guinea. Minister Masere, if you can come and address the media, and then I will get Minister for Public Service, Minister Sungi, to speak to our public servants right across the length and breadth of our country. Tomorrow is a public holiday for our respect to His Majesty our King, but on Tuesday is a special holiday called up so that public servants far and wide, including our teachers, could be mobilized to assist in the census, and the Minister of Public Service will have an address on this one. Minister Masere, please.
Thank you, Prime Minister, and thank you, media. And let me, on this occasion, call out to every Papua New Guinean across our country that today, during this reference night, marks a very significant period in time. It's a 10-year wait for the census to be done in our country. And as you're aware, in 2011, the last census was done. We are actually 3 years behind the normal timeline, which was set for 2020, for the 2021 for the census to be conducted. So as you're aware, across the country, everyone will be gathered in their homes tonight. Tonight is considered a reference night. The actual count starts tomorrow on the 17th of June, where our data collectors or enumerators will be moving through the entire country to collect data from every individual. They will start with family units in the villages, wards, local level governments, right down to the districts, including the province. So I want to encourage every Papua New Guinea that's out there that is today, this event that takes place starting tomorrow morning. As we move around, the census team will be asking you one first question, and that first question that they will ask is that where were you on the 16th of June, which is tonight. So that's the start of the question, and then basically from that the following questions will come through, but that's the first and most important question they will ask to gauge where you were at that point, at a single point in time for the census to commence an actual count. As the enumerators have been trained across the country, some provinces have already completed their training and ready for dispatch tomorrow. 2 or 3 provinces are lagging slightly behind, and that's purely due to administrative challenges that we faced during the week. As you're aware, we had some field crisis which restricted some movements of our cargo, but that's been focused on. The challenges have been addressed, and as you would understand, as we face those challenges, we have put in place contingency plans to ensure that we are census ready come tomorrow. So going forward, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Prime Minister Honorable James Marape for his leadership. I think the ministry, when it was initially created and I was appointed, there was quite a lot of comments as to why creating another ministry. But as you're aware, this particular ministry came into this particular space specifically to deal with numbers. So all the agencies that are under me all manage numbers. So Prime Minister realizing that we needed to tackle the census, because the census is the start of everything else we do. it starts the planning process. So our budgetary frameworks are all behind the numbers that we must have. Our education department, we must deliver high quality education. It starts with numbers. We must deliver high quality healthcare. It starts with numbers. We must create equal employment opportunities across the country. It starts with number. The infrastructures we build, what roads we build, where we build them to, it all starts with number. So Prime Minister, his foresight and his leadership saw the importance, and especially after the incident on January 10th, the creation of this ministry has set the drive forward to ensure that we achieve census this year. So as we go forward, I would like to encourage every Papua New Guinean that's out there, as our numerators come and visit you starting tomorrow, make welcome, because it will affect you. Everything that we do, it will affect you. Census is more than just the population. It's about everything that we do in the country, how we plan, how we address our needs, how we service our people, how we build our education, how we make sure we have good health services. All starts with numbers and our population. So when they come out there, I want to encourage every Papua New Guinean that's out there to participate in the census. This census will count every man, every woman, and every children, both including locals and including our foreigners who are here, because everybody that lives in this country has a requirement for power, has a requirement for water. So we have to count every Papua New Guinean across the country, including our friends and our visitors and our foreigners who are employed here. We will count every single one of them, and that number will be given to our Prime Minister on the 1st of September in order for him to announce it to the country. We are engaging about 22,000 numerators across the country. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our good Minister for Education, who has cut short the Term 2 school session in 2 weeks earlier, so to give teachers opportunity to participate in the census. I would also like to thank our good Minister for Public Service, who has, through the Office of the Prime Minister and through the Chief Secretary, issued directives to all our public servants to participate in this very important event that's taking place. I would also like to say thank you to our Minister for Police, who has mobilized his police headquarters to disseminating instructions across the country in the event where we face security issues. The police will be there to ensure that the census are done without any hindrance or obstacle. I would also like to thank our bilateral partners, Australian government and the United States government, for their support, technical support and their training. I also want to thank our development partners, UNFPA, United Nations, who have also provided technical support and also training of all our national census team to make sure that we are census ready and we deliver the census this year. So as we work through this period, you will notice, as Prime Minister alluded earlier, the census may start a bit slower because of the fact that we are dispatching teams out. But as we progress throughout the days, you will find that the data will start coming in very quickly. We've set up at the National Statistics Office, we've set up a dashboard which keeps a daily run of all the numbers that are collected. Every numerator that will be moving through the district collecting data, moving through the provinces collecting data, all that data will be uploaded onto the tablets, and it will be simultaneously uploaded onto the cloud-based application, which will then will be seen at the NSA office through the dashboard that we will have running every day. We've also established a call center with Digicel because they have a greater network coverage across the country. We've set up a call center which we opened on Thursday. The call center will be there to interact between our people and the National Census team to ensure that whatever doubts our people may have, whatever issues, concerns our people may have regarding the census, can call the call center, and they will be able to address those needs on spot. So these are all some of the things that we've set up to ensure that we are census ready. And I want to thank our good Prime Minister. I want to thank all the provincial administrators, provincial governors who are participating with us. And as you're aware, there may be 1 or 2 videos running around within the local space, people complaining about the allowances. Please bear with us. These are administrative issues. The list will be sent by the provinces through the provincial administrators, who are the chairmen of the provincial coordination teams. Will forward the list to the census office, and everybody will be paid. So just remain calm, The most important thing is that we need to mobilize ourselves, get Census. Government has fully supported the program, both with leadership and also with funding. And I want to assure our Papuans out there that if you're complaining about your census, please don't. You will be paid. We need you to participate because this is an important event in the country. Thank you.
All right, we'll get to Public Service Minister. If you talk about allowance, I just want to ask our Papua New Guinean public service. There is no greater call in life than be of service to your country. And counting our people, we already are privileged. All members of parliament, all councillors, all public servants, we are privileged to be already paid by our taxpayers' funds. Instead of asking for allowance, get behind those volunteers. Those volunteers will be the one we will try to, we will assist, pay for their time. We mobilize over 22,000 volunteers nationwide who are getting engaged in this one. But I just want to ask the Public Service Minister to speak to your public servants, tell them, forget about allowance, get behind this national event.
Thank you, Prime Minister. I think the circular has already gone out from the Chief Secretary and my Secretary to all public servants. It is not an appeal, it is a directive. It's a directive to all provincial administrators, all district administrators, to take ownership and provide the leadership at that level to make sure that no hiccups come about or experience during the process of this counting, which starts on Tuesday. Tomorrow is holiday, but Tuesday is the normal working day, and we expect all public servants to be working full time on this. There is no need for you to talk about allowance because you already paid every fortnight, including the board members as well. So we'd like to see that they you get on with the work. It's not for time for you for holiday. This 17th to the 30th is a full-time work by public servants to take ownership. Suspend all other activities, all other programs. This is a national event that happens only once in 10 years. So just two weeks out of the 10 years that you have, this is the most important event and exercise for all public servants to take ownership all across Papua New Guinea, so that we can have a update of our public servants, our population, so you can use that for all our planning, levels of planning, starting from the ward plan to LLG plan to district plan to this provincial plan, all the plans that you can come up with. You plan for the people and with the people, not on a ad hoc basis or from the desktop. You have to plan with the population in your mind that you're planning for the people, so it will help the government as a whole. So my directive and our directive from the Prime Minister's office, Chief Secretary down, is already gone through. You don't have to wait for allowance. Only those that leave their place of work and come for the training and all that, I think that's something that the provincial government can assist to, provincial administration can assist. But otherwise, you take ownership. The most important thing is that database will actually end up in the district information management system. We call it DIMS. District Information Management System is a program that comes under the Provincial Affairs or Intergovernment Relations, and that is to update all the information starting with the population of the district. If the district can know its population, then the provincial is actually a summary of the districts, and the national government is the total of all the district information. So important thing is the district has to have the correct information about the population, because by then education can project the enrollment figures, health will plan for the facilities to build in terms of the population increase, and also our manpower in terms of police. So as Public Service Minister, I'd like to also stress that we need to look at the population very, very carefully and establish it properly so that we can also plan for the manpower increase and appropriately a budget for the manpower in terms of teachers, health workers, and police personnel to address the issue of our law and order issue, especially for the police force. So I think with that, I'd like to enforce and stress as the Minister for Public Service that all public servants must take ownership and do this exercise and suspend all other activities. No trips to be taken anywhere else. You stay put in your district and your LLG or ward area that you've been placed to, especially with the ward members. Many of the ward members seem to be running around everywhere. They have been paid, so you have to stay back and do that. So with that, I'd like to make sure that all public servants stay put and complete this exercise and give your extra effort into it, even if it means you have to stay after hours to do it. With that, I also thank you for being able to support my public servants, especially Prime Minister, to make sure that we can reduce the number of reduce the amount of money that is spent on non-public servants. This should be conducted by the public servants so that they can take ownership of it, and we can reduce the cost that we do this exercise. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Minister Sungi. I appreciate your kind words to all our public servants. Get behind Census 2024. Leave no one behind. Be counted. Reference night tonight. It is starting 16th of June 2024, and Census proper runs from 17th until the 30th of June 2024. Datas will come in and the collations will still be running until we have some sort of figure before September this year. And when we arrive at 58th next year, we should have one unified database of our population that all provinces and districts will have. National government has to plan for our country's development aspirations. So I just want to, again, in conclusion, ask everyone, wherever you are tonight, tune in. For the media, we will be engaged right through until we conclude the census period, and each of you will be engaged so that you continue to uplink the relevant information to our people. In case you missed out, Minister Masere did point that there'll be a live collation of data. At every input, it'll be running. The population number will be running until we reach whatever figures when the last person has been counted in our country. And so I want to tonight officially say it is the reference night for our census. We had census in 1980, 1990, 2000, 2011. COVID-19 came in at 2020, disrupt our plan for census, and we're now here 2024. We will get this done. We will ensure it is a high quality population database where we will use to ensure we map out our country's future together, and going forward, our country's development aspiration hinges on this population data. Get yourself counted. You don't want to be left behind. Thank you very much. We can leave it at that for the census occasions. All right. Thank you. Well done.